I'm Stephen Daly. I'm an Irish football fan from Dublin, long-suffering Manchester United supporter. It hasn't always been suffering, but definitely over the last couple of seasons. And I know it's brought a bit of a tumultuous time in our house in the last month or so with Ralph Rangnick coming in place of Ole. We had a couple of Ole in people. I was strictly Ole out. I've been working in media for 15 years, worked in various broadcasters across Ireland and the UK, most recently with RTE in Dublin.
Brilliant. So we'll talk about the media and then we'll talk about football.
Sure.
What are some of the roles you are most proud of in the media?
Sure, I've worked in various roles, as I've said. I've been a national radio presenter with RTE, producing the early morning programme Rising Time, which is far too early in the morning to be up, but it's 5:30 to 7 on RTE Radio 1. And also I've worked as a weatherman across some of Ireland's biggest media outlets, starting by accident as a weatherman in UTV Ireland, which didn't last long, then to TV3 Virgin Media, and now with RTE.
Brilliant. And then in the future, I guess, what are the kind of presenting roles that you dream of doing? You know, what you're doing in 10 years? What's the best case scenario?
Best case scenario, I reckon, looking like a poor version of Ant from Ant and Dec. Saturday Night Takeaway would be a great place to be. I'm also a huge fan of Soccer AM, and Jeff Stelling's seat on Soccer Saturday would be an awesome place to end up.
Brilliant. And then in terms of football,
yeah,
you mentioned you're a United fan. Well, I guess, how did that begin? Talk about your life in football.
Sure, yeah. United fan. My dad was always a United fan way back. He pretends he's younger than he is, but he remembers the Busby Babes team, and I suppose that started it for him all the way through George Best. I suppose my first footballing memory is actually my uncle, who was a Liverpool fan, got me a Mark Wright jersey in the late 80s, early 90s. My dad wasn't having it at all. So a Ryan Giggs jersey soon replaced it, and the rest moved on from there. So I've been a United fan all through the good times and sticking with them through the bad. When I'm not supporting United, I'm also a follower of Wrexham, which I think is an interesting experiment in what happens when you get two big name celebrities who own your club. I even managed to buy one of those green jerseys with TikTok down the front because I am so trendy. Huge Football Manager fan as well. I spent far too much time playing it, probably caused the death of at least two previous relationships, as I try and take teams like Wrexham from the lower echelons of the English leagues all the way to the Champions League with minimal success. Most recently, been sacked by Newcastle.
Yeah, everyone's giving Newcastle.
Yeah.
Football Manager addict, I guess, is the best way of putting it.
For sure.
So yeah, brilliant. Did you get to many games?
It's been ages since I've been to a game, just with the things I've been. I've been to not as many Premier League games as I would like to have been to. I've been to Old Trafford for games a couple of times. I went to United versus Everton and a Crystal Palace match in Old Trafford too. And I mean, randomly, if I'll go to weekends away across the UK, I'll just see what game is on locally. And I mean, I went to see Aston Villa versus Sunderland a couple of years ago when both teams were playing in the Premier League, more than a couple of years ago at this stage.
Yeah.
A young Ashley Young was the standout player on that day. That'll tell you how old I am. Yeah.
Brilliant. I've skipped over a media question just to go back quickly. Do you prefer, or do you have any preference between being in studio or being out on location at all?
I have experience doing both. I have done a huge amount of work in studio, but also on location. I think on location can be good fun, so it's never a problem to go and do it. I'll tell you a story about one of my on location shoots. I was doing a weather broadcast from a young scientist exhibition, and they'd given them ping pong balls as part of one of the other displays. So I was live on the lunchtime news, and just as I started into my forecast, I got a shower of ping pong balls over the top of my cubicle, and it was. They waited for me to say, we'll see some downpours at times, and next thing, these pelting ping pong balls. So I'm comfortable in either scenario.
Okay, brilliant.
Major tournaments are the perfect shop window for untapped talent, and the Africa Cup of Nations is no different. Welcome to the rumour mill. Now, few clubs are more dialed into African talent than those in the Red Bull empire, and two players on our 5-man list are already in their clutches. Red Bull Leipzig's Malian defender Amadou Haidara was picked up from JMG Academy Bamako by Salzburg in 2016 before spending time on loan at feeder team FC Liefering. In December 2018, he arrived in the Bundesliga with Leipzig and scored his first Champions League goal against Manchester United in December 2020. Since then, he's been persistently linked with the Red Devils. The 23-year-old can play in several midfield roles and even idolised Steven Gerrard growing up. A combative, tough-tackling midfielder with boundless energy, he would be ideal for Ralph Rangnick's side. The 23-year-old can play in several midfield roles and even idolised Steven Gerrard growing up. A combative, tough-tackling midfielder with boundless energy, he would be ideal for Ralph Rangnick's relentless pressing style. Fellow Malian Mohamed Kamara is still at the Salzburg stage of his Red Bull journey. The 22-year-old has already overcome international adversity after being hit with a 3-month suspension after testing positive for a banned substance in 2001. Along with Salzburg and Mali teammate Sekou Koita, Kamara took medicine to combat altitude sickness while on AFCON qualifying duty in Namibia. UEFA ruled neither had intended to violate their drug policy, but a ban was upheld. Like Haidara, Kamara is a Bamako native. He started out at Real Bamako before joining Liefering and Salzburg. A deep-lying midfielder who wins the ball back before distributing. Kamara's reading of the game is impressive. Namesake Agibo Kamara plays for Group B's Guinea and is on Olympiakos' books. The winger, 20, is only 5'6", but works tirelessly out of possession. He's in the 99th percentile for tackles by a winger in Europe's top 5 leagues. Press-resistant, Kamara's ability to twist and turn out of trouble before carrying the ball forward is impressive, as are his vision and range of passing. Kamara turned pro with Lille in 2019 and netted on his debut against Dijon in the Coupe de France before moving to Olympiakos last summer. Lille could be left to regret their haste in selling the winger. Kamaldeen Sulemana is the youngest of Ghana's forwards, which include the experienced Ayew brothers, but the Wren winger is one to watch. Pacey and hard to shake off the ball when he gets going, the 19-year-old began his career in Europe with Danish side Nordsjælland. Ajax and Bayern Leverkusen were keen before he joined Rennes last summer, in doing so becoming the Danish Superliga's most expensive export. Sulemana is in the 99th percentile for dribbles completed. He is bound to catch the eye in Group C. Finally, it's Burkina Faso's Edmund Tapsoba. The Bayer Leverkusen centre-back 22 joined his first team when he was 14 and has come a long way in a short time. After starting out with local youth side Salitas, he signed for Portuguese minnows Lexixos before a call from Porto and Barcelona legend Deco, now his agent, proceeded to move to Victoria Guimarães 6 months later. Snapped up by Leverkusen on deadline day in January 2020, Tapsoba is comfortable on the ball, quick and a good reader of the game. A big money move is inevitable.